you ever felt destined to have a good game? You woke up in a good mood, the sun was shining bright, everything was going your way, only to see it all come crashing down come game time? Yeah. That's what just happened to me. This is our 4th stop on our 7-stop overseas basketball tour. And to date, every place has been welcoming. But Langao was on a different level. Now, as soon as you get to this county, it's pretty hard to not fall in love with this place. I mean, the hotel was top notch and they took great care of us, but just look at the view. Getting to see this every day is special. So as soon as we settle in, they tell us that we're gonna go on a boat later tonight to do a set of interviews, go on local TV, and answer some questions. Now, luckily for us, when we visited Langao, it was actually the Dragon Boat Festival. So we got to see a lot of tradition, history, and culture while we were there. In a county as small as Langao, it's hard to miss us. After all, there's only 160,000 people in this county. Everyone knew we were here for basketball and there was a game tomorrow. Now, as for that game, we've been in China for about a week and a half at this point, and everyone is definitely feeling it. We've probably played about 6 games in 10 days or so. And usually our schedule goes like this. We'll play a game, stay the night, travel the next day, and then play the game the next day. In other words, our travel day is also our rest day. And if you've ever been on a schedule like that, it is really taxing on your body. But in Langao, this was amplified even more. Although yes, they did put on a great show for us, they also demanded a bunch out of you as well. In a city and in a county as small as this, they're gonna wanna milk it and maximize it for everything that it's worth. So when we were here, we went on so many business trips. We went to a water factory, to an alcohol factory. We went to a getaway resort, and we went to a retirement home. Within a 2-day span, I think we went to about 7 or 8 different locations. Although these are all definitely cool experiences, definitely wear you down when it comes to actually playing the game, because instead of resting, you're on your feet in the blazing hot sun, and you've got to be on. You've got to be engaged, and you've got to be a good professional throughout it. At the same time, I kind of empathize with them. I'm assuming it's pretty rare that games are actually put on in this location. So you can see that all the local businesses want to jump on board. So personally, I was more than happy to help them take promo videos, photos, and engage with them however I could. Beyond the business visits, there were also multiple school visits that we had to attend to. So at this point, we pretty much have our routine down. We're gonna go to a new city, we're gonna go to schools, and we're gonna go to local businesses to support them. And then we're gonna play the game. And this points to a harsh reality of overseas basketball. Just get it done. Regardless of how you may feel, regardless of how your body may be reacting, in a lot of markets, they're actually gonna expect you to perform and perform under duress, meaning whether you're tired, jet-lagged, don't know the language, don't know the coaches, or in this case, have very little rest. Now, I know it doesn't come from a malicious standpoint, but understanding rest and recovery sometimes isn't the strong suit of a lot of these countries. They expect you to be Superman or Superwoman and just get the job done. Now, don't get me wrong, just because we have to do some school and business visits, that doesn't mean I'm ungrateful or didn't enjoy my experience in Langao. In fact, to the contrary, whenever I see people putting on so much effort and putting on such big performances for us, it actually really humbles me, and I want to put on a good show for them and play well for them. I've been playing decently, not the best, but decently. I probably average about 12 to 15 minutes, and in that time, I'm averaging 8.5 points. So it's pretty good. Now, coming into this tour, I knew that probably I wasn't going to play a lot of minutes, but I still had the mindset of wanting to produce within those minutes and making the most of it. That's because in a lot of overseas leagues, they will actually have you under these minute restrictions. For instance, in some leagues, you're only allowed a certain amount of imports on the court at the same time. So say you have 3 imports, you may only be allowed 2 at the same time. So I had this in my mind. I want to be as productive as I possibly can. So this was a great way to simulate that for me in my personal case. But Langao was where reality hit. Again, in case you haven't been keeping up with this docu-series, this is my first time playing professional basketball in nearly 3 years. And my legs definitely felt it. I hit the wall in Langao. I think I shot maybe 1 of 5 or 1 of 6. And the only real basket I got was this turnaround fade. I made a few good passes and a couple of assists, but for the most part, I'm there to score and I'm there to shoot. And I didn't do my job this game. Not only that, but the shots that I did take, like look at this, it has literally 0 chance of going in. It is so flat, it's not even getting over the front rim. So I know moving forward, I have to prioritize my rest, maybe get into the weight room to try to revitalize my legs a bit, because this was not a good look. Now, as for the game, again, we're playing against Team Spain, who we've been traveling with this whole time. And they're a team full of professional Swedish and Spanish players playing in the first and second divisions within those countries. The crowd was hyped, it was back and forth, we had an announcer and a DJ at this game, and it was overall a great vibe. But chemistry won out in the end. We took them to overtime on this Hail Mary shot, but we lost in overtime. So now we're down 3-1 in the series. After playing so many years overseas, you never lose your hunger to win games. But at the same time, you come to realize that you've got to wash it away quickly. Tomorrow is a new game, tomorrow is a new day. It's kind of interesting in this tour how we're playing so many games in so many days, because it's really similar to the style that I played when I was in Latin America. Usually we would have about 2 or 3 games every week. So that means you had to have a short-term memory, whether you played good or bad. Because after a while, you realize that every game does not define you. It's the consistency that defines you, the totality of your games. So that's how I'm approaching this moving forward. And the other side of that is, even when you do lose and you take an L, man, it's tough sometimes to be really down about it. I mean, the next day, the Langao representatives took us to this beautiful mountainside and this beautiful temple for an unbelievable and unforgettable experience. This is something that many of us have never seen before and perhaps will never see again in our lives. This is one of the most beautiful parts of overseas basketball. Chances are that many of us would never visit China on our own, let alone a place like Langao. But by going through basketball, by going through this tour, we're able to feel such a unique experience in this county. Now, I know this isn't really politically correct, because as basketball players, we're always taught that winning is the most important thing and is the end all be all. But at the end of the day, when you are experiencing places like this, travel in the world, and getting to make lifelong friendships with people, it's tough to be mad for long. Regardless, Langao is a great place of reflection for me, both on the court and off the court. Now we just gotta right this ship in the next city and get on our LeBron 3-1 comeback. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.